Surely, Alberta is rodeo country, right? Anybody like rodeo in here? Yeah, that's a lot. You heard of Luke Butterfield? He's out there right now, pretty good bronc rider. He's a third-generation rodeo competitor, Luke is. Seen him before many times. Well, tonight, Luke's grandfather, Tom, is going in the Alberta Sports Hall of Fame, and Tom's brothers, Brian and Vernon Butterfield, all three Butterfield boys are going in the Alberta Sports Hall of Fame. 50 years ago, the Butterfields were big news in rodeo. They were big, steer wrestlers, bareback riding. And behind the scenes at the Ponoka Stampede and throughout the rodeo, the Canadian Professional Rodeo Association, they were involved making it good for the cowboys. So the Butterfields were involved in so many levels when it comes to rodeo. You know, we're all known for something, good and bad. But they're Butterfield. If you talk to people who know about the Butterfield boys, Tom, Vernon, and Brian, they'll say, yeah, they were pretty good in rodeo. Yeah, they did it. They organized things well. They competed hard. But they were truly known for toughness, honesty, and integrity and fair play. I think those are pretty good things to be known for. And tonight, the Butterfields are going into the Alberta Sports Hall of Fame, and here's why.
Tom, Vernon, and Brian Butterfield are true Canadian rodeo legends. The brothers dominated the steer wrestling event through the 50s and 60s, winning a combined 10 Canadian professional rodeos, 4 Calgary Stampede titles, and countless rodeo titles from across Canada. The Butterfields grew up on a farm west of Ponoka, Alberta, where they started out by riding cows and yearlings. Tom entered his first rodeo at the age of 16 and finished in 3rd place. From that point on, the brothers were hooked. All 3 boys started traveling the rodeo circuit, mastering the sport. Tom Butterfield competed for 9 years as a rodeo professional, but was active in the sport throughout his life. He served as a director of the Ponoka Stampede Association from 1968 until 2000. Tom passed away in 2009, and in his memory, the Ponoka Stampede created the Tom Butterfield Creating Cowboys Scholarship, which is awarded to 1 boy and 1 girl annually. Vernon Butterfield, better known as Bud, competed for 8 years on the pro rodeo circuit, winning 6 Canadian professional rodeo championships. He also won 4 Calgary Stampede steer wrestling titles in his career. Brian Butterfield competed professionally for 14 years and won 4 CPR championships in steer wrestling. In the overall Canadian standings, Brian finished in the top 5 13 times. His best season was in 1958, where he won the Canadian all-round title for combined points in steer wrestling and bareback riding. The Butterfields' rodeo legacy has continued as their children and grandchildren have also competed at the highest of levels.
3 generations of the Butterfield family or more involved in the Ponoka Stampede. Here comes Brock Butterfield. All right, Brock, make this work. Cody Cassidy hazing for him. Got this done in a hurry. Put him down Butterfield style. 5 and 5.
Tom, Bud, and Brian were inducted into the Canadian Professional Rodeo Hall of Fame in 1996. They were also honored as legends and pioneers at the Ponoka Stampede and were named Pioneers of Rodeo at the Calgary Stampede in 2012. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Alberta Sports Hall of Fame 2016 Pioneer Award recipients, Tom, Bud, and Brian Butterfield.
Keep the hats on, sure. We should mention that Tom, who passed away, Blake Butterfield, is here representing his dad. You know, for those of us who go to the Calgary Stampede, and when you're in the media or you do things, you have to put a cowboy hat on. Cowboy hats don't always look good on everybody. But you know what? You guys look good in a cowboy hat to this day. You look good. You look great. Okay. Who's going to talk? Blake's going to talk? Okay. Please welcome Blake Butterfield, Tom's son. He's going to say a few words. Bud and Brian, thank you. Blake, can you hold the mic? Testing 1, 2. There you go. It's all yours.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of my dad, Tom, and uncles Brian and Bud, I'd like to thank the Alberta Sports Hall of Fame for this honor and congratulate the other inductees. You can't get any better than the Hall of Fame. Uncle Bud says my dad was the talker, Brian the fighter, and he was the strong, silent type. I guess that's why I'm up here speaking. Brian gave me a little bit of history on the family. The Butterfield brothers grew up in the 1930s. No drugs or alcohol. We were all very poor. We had kind, religious, hard-working parents. In the summer, we went to church every Sunday. The rest of the week, we did our chores, hunted, fished, and rode our horses 4 miles to swim in the Battle River. We were wild and free, nature's children. From 1953 to 1965, the rodeo business was good for us. We traveled a lot and met all kinds of good people, even the Queen of England at the Calgary Stampede. Rodeo was our substitute for a college education. Now, 50 years later, looking back, it was our greatest accomplishment. We were lucky and smart enough to marry beautiful, intelligent, and understanding girls. Sounds like Brian wants to go fishing with the boys. As the second generation, my cousins and I grew up close. Brian, my dad, in the same yard, and Bud just down the road. When Uncle Bud said he was the strong, silent type, I remembered them all as men of few words. They didn't talk about hard work or honesty. Their word was their bond, and a handshake meant everything. They didn't talk about respect for your neighbors, respect for people's property, or respect for the land and livestock on it. They didn't have to, they lived it. What a great example for us. I'm grateful to say they passed down these traits to their children and grandchildren. Brian is proud to say that all of our grandchildren and children, most who are here tonight, have grown up to be self-supporting, respected members of their communities. Who could ask for anything more? I believe the secret to their success in the rodeo and business world was because of their strong bond as brothers. Together they were unstoppable. Some people are lucky enough to call their father their hero. I'm very lucky. I grew up with 3 heroes. Thank you.
Well said, Blake. Good job, my friend. Good job. Good job, guys. That was well said, my friend. Thank you very much, Blake. The Butterfields. That's great.